Everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel
To the White House, Jackie Heinrich has some new information for us. Jackie.
Yeah, I just went up to the press area to get an understanding of what we're watching. This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelensky out of the White House.
What if we tell you that Brics is trying to create a modern Europe and Africa that will be 6 times more magnificent and more developed than modern-day Europe?
Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré is making a bold move to unite Africa. He has told the African Union chairman that it's time to break old borders and let Africans move freely without visa.
Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Uncle P with another episode of Uncle P's podcast. Alright, guys, so a lot is happening and you guys are getting worried. Okay, so Uncle P needs to come and explain certain things in order for you guys to sleep peacefully. Okay, so I got this video. So obviously, some of you guys send me videos via email. You send me links that I go through, and guys, trust me, everything that you guys send me, I look at, and sometimes when I don't react to it or I don't use the videos, it's because I've already used the video before and you expose yourself that you do not watch my content. But this time around, this video that was sent to me, it was quite interesting, and I thought we should actually have a look at it, especially because there was a message on the video that caught my attention that said, you know what, there might be a lot of people that have this sentiment or that feel this thing. Let me explain and why it is the way it is. The video came with this caption: if Trump is doing this to Zelensky, what about the rest of us? Okay, what is Trump doing to Zelensky? That's the question you guys have. Well, I don't know how much of the news you guys follow, but recently Zelensky had a meeting with Donald Trump at the White House and it did not go well. Okay, so I'm gonna play that video, I'm gonna cut it down, I'm gonna keep stopping and breaking it down and analyzing it for you guys so we actually see whether there's anything that we need to worry about or. All right, guys, let's go.
Latest news now from the White House, where President Trump has met with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Let's listen in.
With both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? It doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, you know, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done.
I'm aligned with the world, I'm aligned with Europe. I'm aligned with the USA. Those words may mean nothing to a lot of people, but those words mean a lot. So what basically is saying is there's alliances that are made in politics, and those alliances are extremely important. But sometimes keeping your enemies close is better than keeping your friends close, because with your friends you don't have nothing to worry about. Your enemies, you rather keep them close, because you never know who's going to stab your ass. And that's basically what Donald Trump is saying. Let's continue to listen.
You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who's...
Okay, I just want you guys to realize this is where everything goes wrong. I should have researched what this guy's name is, but whatever his name is, if you guys know, you can put it there. I really don't give a shit. But this idiot here decides to show that they are tough. So he's going to say, he's going to have a collective of words that he's going to put together that's going to trigger certain events that leads to chaos. Let's listen.
stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Okay, so at this moment, this guy didn't really say much wrong. All he says is, listen, we're trying to deal with this situation by talking about it. You know, Biden decided to give them guns and weapons and decided to go to war, and that thing didn't do anything. We talk. No, sounds right. Sounds good, right? Well, let's listen.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during...
Okay, right now Zelensky wants to explain to this mumu, this idiot, that you are forgetting that what you just said had been said before. And this is what the outcome was. Let's listen.
A lot of years, I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know.
So President Trump basically says, listen, those years I was not there. President Trump has this thing, this notion that everybody's scared of him, and ever since he was president, everybody was in line. So whatever happened when he was not there is none of his business, which is technically true. But the reality is that even when he was president, he didn't do anything about the Ukrainian war. Because it was always there. It's just that it became louder when Russia decided to make it loud, because they wanted to make it clear that, listen, we want this country, we want this space, and we're going to take this space. But let's continue to listen.
That we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president, in 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
Okay, so this is where everything goes wrong. What Zelensky is basically doing is, he's trying to explain to Donald Trump in this mumu that, listen, we've already gone through this before. He has signed a ceasefire before, and he broke that agreement. So, what kind of diplomacy are you talking about right now that will be different than the previous diplomacy? He's trying to understand what makes your guys' diplomacy more important than the previous diplomacy, because France was involved in all that. And this is where it gets interesting, and this is where I want you guys to focus. I hope you guys are still watching. Let's continue to listen.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring it into this country.
Okay, so what's happening right now, this guy has realized that the things that this president is saying and what he's about to say may put whatever agreements that the United States had with Russia prior. Because remember, they've already had a meeting by this time. I'll show you guys that video. So he needs to stop this right now, because he feels like Zelensky is about to say something that he shouldn't be saying. And if it goes out there, it's a problem. And if they do cut this feed, it may send the wrong message. Let's listen.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions.
And this is where the problem is. So basically what this Mumu is trying to tell Zelensky is that you had problem with having a number of people to fight on your behalf. We gave you manpower, we gave you weaponry, so you should be thanking us. Don't be ungrateful coming here and talking about things in the past that has nothing to do with us. Don't be coming here telling the truth to our media and risking the deal that we made with Russia. Now, Zelensky is about to expose something that many people did not pay attention to. I hope you guys are still watching. For those of you who are still watching, you're about to win yourself some money. I'm going to start tricking you guys every single video. Right now, this video probably should be at 10 minutes, 11 minutes. I want you to tag exactly when this code pops up on this screen. Exactly the minute this code pops up. I know the minutes when this code popped up. If you tag when this code popped up, you will win yourself 100 Rand. Now, there is a possibility that this code comes out more than once throughout the video. I'm just saying, there is a possibility the code comes out more than once in the video. Good luck. You might be winning a grand. That's all I'm saying. Let's continue to listen.
Let's start from the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to.
So this is where the issue becomes. It says, in every war, everyone has a problem. You have nice oceans. You don't feel it now, but you will later. And this is where the problem became. So he's warning America, if you do not do something about Russia right now, whatever Russia is planning to do to us, he will do to you guys after he conquers us. Let's continue to listen.
Feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
The words is saying you are going to feel the influence. What influence you think he's talking about? Brics. So what you guys are not understanding, there's a lot that is happening. So guys, I can continue to play this video as they argue and everything else, but you can go to Al Jazeera's webpage. I'm going to try and find the link to the video and link it up in the bio so you guys can go watch the whole video. What are they worried about? And what is Zelensky warning Trump? And which is the one thing that I've been keeping to tell you guys on this page. This is what Zelensky is warning Trump about. And the one thing that Trump is also afraid of.
What if we tell you that Brics is trying to create a modern Europe in Africa that will be 6 times more magnificent and more developed than modern-day Europe? Well, you won't believe it until you know how much Brics has announced that it will invest in Africa. After World War II, the U.S. invested an amount equal to $150 billion of today's money to reconstruct Europe. Compared to this, Brics, and especially China, have announced to invest over $800 billion in Africa. That's nearly 6 times higher than what it cost to reconstruct Europe. But
Brics, especially China, have decided to invest over $800 billion. Guys, you need to understand, Russia is not our only partner. China is also, and China is massive. And right now, China is leading in AI technology, and the United States cannot even stand. And this is why it links up with Elon Musk, but we'll get there. This is for Africa Live TV. Guys, grow the page. I promise you, I'm going to bring you guys some interesting things. Guys, in reality, what people are not realizing here is that BRICS is growing, Africa is becoming powerful. Africa is beginning to regain that freedom that they wanted. Now, don't get me wrong. In this video, I made it very clear that Africa does not have any allies and Africa does not have any friends. Because Russia has no business talking to the United States after the way the US has been threatening South Africa, since we are allies. And the reason South Africa has not been afraid of afraid of USA, is because it knows the relationship we have with Russia. Guys, you need to understand, World War III will never happen. Nobody's going to be enslaved. Therefore, everybody's got to behave. If you're still watching by now, you've probably won $200 because the code just showed up, right? Guys, the reality is Africa is beginning to get the independency that the white man fears. And I have made it very clear to you guys in this video that the white man's, what's the word I'm looking for? Population is shrinking. And in this video, it stated it, that if Donald Trump's plan works, it's going to slow down the process of the shrinking of the white man's population. And they can catch up. Guys, go watch this video. It's very informative. It is crazy to think that Europe and America now, they are afraid of Africa. And there's one country that is a living example of that Africa is really obtaining its independence and is doing it right. Guys, remember in all my videos, I always tell you guys, Africa needs to unite. But that unite can't happen in South Africa. South Africa is playing a chess game. That unity needs to happen in the west of Africa, where the problems are. Because if South Africa backs too loud, look at the way they are attacking South Africa today. If South Africa collapses, which is the heart of Africa, the whole of Africa will collapse. Because South Africa holds BRICS together and holds the G20. Guys, South Africa is a powerful nation. But the difference between South Africa and Nigeria and every other nation in Africa is that other African countries, they brag. Because you see, like when you are making fraudulent money, you brag, you want everybody to know you are wealthy. But South Africa keeps it in silence and it plays its chess game. When it made a deal with its colonizers, it made a deal. It used communication to come to an agreement with its colonizers. We used force and power. And look at how our countries are. South Africa is playing the long game. And it's working today and it's benefiting the rest of Africa. Because I can tell you now that this would have not happened if South Africa did not have Russia and China. Because America and Europe would have easily attacked this country. But they know that Russia, the BRICS, will not allow this to happen. What am I talking about?
Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré is making a bold move to unite Africa. He has told the African Union chairman that it's time to break old borders and let Africans move freely without visa. To make this happen, Burkina Faso is working on becoming a visa-free country for all Africans. Soon, any African citizen will be able to visit, work, and live in Burkina Faso without restrictions. Traoré is also launching Afro Airlines, a budget airline to connect Africa like never before. The airline is already in progress, and when it starts, it will offer cheap flights across the continent. Traoré believes Africans should explore their own land freely, just like people in Europe. More airports will also be upgraded to handle increased travel, making Burkina Faso a central hub for African movement. Traoré has also called on other African leaders to join the movement. He says it's time to remove colonial borders, build stronger trade ties, and unite under one African identity.
I preached this message in my channel, and I told you guys, this channel is not based on hating foreigners or hating Nigerians. Eventually, we are going to reach a place where I was going to let you guys know united Africa is possible, and this is the way it's supposed to be done. It did not need to initiate in South Africa. It needed to initiate where the problems are, which is the West. Guys, one, we have the number. We are the largest continent in the world, and we have the largest population in Africa. If we start moving freely amongst each other, our army is going to be too large. Remember, their nuclear weapons and everything that they have is dependent on natural resources. They will be able to beat us in the first leg of the war. But once their missiles run out, what happens? They need to use force. That means they used to use manpower. Nigeria alone is sitting at 300, maybe 500 million that are the additional 200 that are unaccounted for. Nigeria alone is going to cause problems. Nigeria alone, guys, I'm not even naming any. Nigeria alone. And on top of that, this is a reality. Brics. I promise you, we have nothing to fear. But you need to understand, this relationship is just a modern day colonial. The only difference is we're not going to feel choked until we decide to do the same thing that Torah is doing. Africa is back and is fighting, and it's about to obtain a different type of freedom that it never thought it could obtain before. I am proud that I'm still alive, and I hope I live long enough to see it, because this is going to be worth seeing. I'm your boy Uncle P, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.
This is some huge news for South Africa. According to a break-in report, South Africa could partner up with Iran. The South African government are exploring the possibility of giving Iran a contract to build a nuclear power plant in South Africa. This would be the first time ever that Iran builds a nuclear power plant outside of their own country. And the reason South Africa are looking to do this is because they want to add 2,500 megawatts of capacity to the national grid. Our government have also said that they are open to doing the same deal with Russia. This could have huge international implications. The announcement has faced a lot of criticism, and analysts are concerned that this will make South Africa's relationship with the West, especially the United States, even more tense. Do you think this is a good idea?